Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to European Racing Organization. This is the F4 division, and we are in season 6 for the Portimao race, the brand new track which was added last month to this game. And we'll be racing here for the first time ever in the history of Ero. So, should be a fun race. Stay tuned with me and let me know if you're watching that my audio is audible so that you can hear me on the stream. And at the same time, while the drivers are preparing themselves for an intense qualifying session, the lap times you should see will be around 117s, maybe someone in the 116s as well. So we'll have a look at that. Can someone go into 115s is my question. We have some pretty quick drivers around here, so we'll have a look. And while we do that, let me just quickly pull up the standings to see what's going on. As far as drivers championship is concerned, it's raining. Wow, it is definitely full wet conditions here in Portimao. 14 drivers are in, and it seems like it's going to be full wets as far as the qualifying is concerned. Does it dry out later on in the qualifying? We'll have a look, but for now it seems like it's definitely full wet time. Is the race as well dry or wet? We don't know right now, but Murphy is leading the championship by 42 points. That's a very healthy lead he has almost halfway through the season. And then behind him is Jano and Kogucic with 92 and 88 points respectively. So Oloman in the Red Bull is one of the first drivers on the track, and you can see so much puddles right now. So this is going to be a tricky qualifying session. You will see some drivers also trying to get consecutive runs, so they will have more fuel than just a couple of laps on board. And let's see, speaking about Red Bull, they have as well have got a livery change. This is the livery they use for the Turkish Grand Prix, where they got a double podium. The white livery, or the white bulls they are called, and I think the livery stays on in the game for about a month, so make the best of it, along with the track in Imola, which is added in the game as well. So plenty of updates, plenty to look forward to, as is this qualifying session. We're just getting started here now, and you can see Oloman completely pushing his car, and he seems pretty planted there, so must have a good wet setup there to ensure that his car is on the black stuff and at the same time setting competitive lap times. So we see out of 14 drivers right now, there are 1, 2, 3. So yeah, except for 4 drivers, everyone else is on the track, and let's expect the other drivers to come out pretty soon. But Oloman, the first driver to start a hot lap. Let's see what he does here, and let's ride on board with him actually. Let's get rid of everything else. You can see the tire threads on the tires, and they are not the sling intermediates as they were called. The Turkish Grand Prix, taking the turn 1 very gingerly. There's a car up ahead. Oloman almost losing it at the exit of turn 2. Still keeps it in one piece, and this is all about confidence on this track. How much do you trust your car, and how much do you trust the conditions to push to the limit, and at the same time try to extend or extract lap time out of the car. But you can see standing water puddles, so these are absolutely treacherous conditions. Spider is not really moving out of the way for Oloman. Oloman had to go around, but not sure if he was impeded that way. And now on to turn 8, which is probably one of the toughest corners on the track, considering it is very slippery. Oloman almost loses at the exit once again, so he is pushing a lot right now, and that's how it should be in qualifying. But he has to be careful. He should have more than 1 lap of fuel on board, so he should have more chances to get more comfortable with these conditions as he rounds up the final 2 corners. Kogucic has already been disqualified from the session. Wonder why that is. It's just wrong way it shows on the screen, so maybe his car was pulled up somewhere where he did not want to be and has stayed there for a long time. As around the final corner comes the Red Bull of Oloman. He goes P1 with a 129.842, and now let's see what others are doing. Who else is on a lap which is going to be completed? It seems like Sickle will be the next person to cross the line. No, not Sickle, sorry. Let's go with someone else who is... This is the McLaren of Murphy. Yeah, there you go. Murphy is going to complete his lap, and Smarty has gone P2 at 30.2. Murphy, let's see where this puts him, is goes P1 with a 29.7. So lap times will come tumbling down as the session starts. Now King, the first person in the 28s, and how? 28.497, full wet conditions. What is Racing Gupta up to as he crosses the line? I think he's just starting his lap, so we'll catch up with him later. Yano is going very slowly in the second sector. He's cutting that corner, I think, to not get in the way of other cars. Sickle, meanwhile, is racing someone. It seems like there's a Red Bull. I think that's Hollow Man, who is... Yeah, it was Hollow Man, who was not sure what he was doing that close to Sickle. But now Sickle across the line. He is very gingerly off the track, but he's trying his best right now to put his Alfa Romeo up there. Let's see as he climbs the hill, and across the line he comes to 31.432. So that is some way off, and now he will have to ensure that he can get more lap time in. Racing Gupta, meanwhile, in the Alpine, is on a lap, and he uses all of the track limits, does not get invalidated. So this is looking good for him, and with 2 more corners to go, there are a couple of cars ahead of him. I think one of them is Sickle himself. No, that's I think King, who's on his second lap. So let's see what King does first in his Ferrari. There will be consecutive laps. No, it's not. So let's go back to Racing Gupta then, and Racing Gupta is now across the line. Let's see where it puts him. P2 with a 29.2. So still King is the only person. He is the king of Portimao right now with the 28.497. Only person in the 28 so far. And Kogucic does not like his DSQ at all. Kogucic, if you're still listening to this, let us know what happened. How did you get disqualified from the session and now you'll start from the last? And that has definitely compromised your race, but the race is long, so don't lose hope. There will be plenty of chances to make overtaking possible, especially if it's a dry conditions. Miyake, who is Racing Gupta's teammate, meanwhile, is on a lap right now. I think he's just through that hairpin now, goes in a little bit deep. He had to go really deep and has to be careful on the power. And yeah, he had to lift off a bit, using a lot of curb there, but had to lift off to ensure that he does not lose traction coming out of that corner. Once again through turn 8, going second gear, which I thought was low, and that's exactly what happened, losing his car a little bit. And can see yellow flags in many sectors there, so it is really tough conditions for everyone who is driving right now. And what does Miyake do? He has put a purple sector as far as sector 2 is concerned, but he's gone deep once again in the penultimate corner. So let's see what his does. Racing Gupta, meanwhile, is now across the line, and he is now into 128, 128.717, and Miyake will now see the finish line up ahead of him. Let's see what he does as far as lap times are concerned. He goes P8 at 21.6, so almost 3 seconds off his teammate. Now few loads are different, but definitely that's a huge chunk of time which he has to find. Bios, meanwhile, has started his hot lap and using just about enough track limits. You can see there are so much standing water, but you know, the rain has decreased, so I won't be surprised. Oh, Bios almost losing it. But if you ride on board, you can see there's a slightly less wetter line emerging there, and I won't put it past some of these people as Bios is still struggling. 9 minutes to go, and I definitely think we'll see some intermediates running because the rain has definitely lessened, so it is possible to maybe set a lap time on the intermediate tires. But what a beautiful track this is, absolutely brilliant. I just did a 50% race before starting commentary here, and while the rain had interrupted the race as well, we had rain for almost the entirety of the race, it is a really fun track, and especially in the dries, we should see a lot of on-track battles to settle for positions. But Bios now is rounding off his final corners. There's a Haas which has lost his way. I'm assuming that is Slimicam. And let's see, Bios now across the line. Where does he put his lap? As Racing Gupta has further improved his lap time 28.5, so he is getting closer and closer to that lap time from King. And Bios has put his car in P10 right now, the last of the people who have set a lap time. What does Yano do meanwhile? Yano is on those wet tires, but I definitely think someone will be gambling on inters right now, where everyone is on the wets as we speak. But I think the only thing which is deterring them from going on the inters is the standing water or the puddles on the track. But apart from that, these are conditions where intermediates might work very well. Racing Gupta meanwhile is still out on track, so he has a lot of fuel as compared to King, who has gone into the pits and is yet to come out still. So we'll have a look on that. Where is he, by the way? Where is Racing Gupta? He's exiting the final corner now. So let's see, is he going into the pits or is he... Oh, he loses it! He completely loses it and has bammed the wall, but thankfully for him, I think he got too much eager on the power there, but thankfully he has kept his car in shape. And Yano goes... Oh, Racing Gupta has been disqualified. Oh, that is such a shame. He was looking like the only person who could have challenged King for pole, and he has been disqualified. And that is 2 disqualifications in the same session. That is such a shame. And he will have to start from the back of the grid. He will join Kogucic. So 2 very fast drivers at the back of the field, and that should make up for an interesting race. But yeah, it's a shame because both of them, especially Racing Gupta, well, we did not really see the full pace of Kogucic, but Racing Gupta really looked like he was the only person until this disqualification that who would have probably challenged King for that pole position. Murphy meanwhile is on a lap, but it's not improving, so he might be coming in at the end of this one, try to put in a new fresh set of tires and go again. There's a Red Bull. Was it Hollow Man? Oh, Hollow Man, he spun. And I think Murphy is coming in as well. Yeah, Murphy is in. So pretty much everyone in right now. Yano is going to come in as well, because it seems like either he has run out of fuel or... Yeah, definitely seems to be have run out of fuel there. So yeah, Kogucic, same pain for Racing Gupta. So 2 cars on track right now, make that 3 as King exits the pits. And Adam Baker and Sickle are one of the drivers who will start their hot lap. So let's stay on board. Let's stay on board with King when he starts his lap. But Sickle is now going to start his latest run, and he is on the inters as we speak. There you go, intermediate tires for him. And let me see if I can see where the fitted tires are. You can see everyone is on those intermediate tires now, so it's definitely intermediate conditions, and the puddles have evaporated as well. So that's the fastest first sector of the session, but you can expect that to happen with everyone who sets their time later on. So they would have hoped to have enough fuel in their cars to go for multiple laps, because they have more time at their disposal. Sickle now in the heart of sector 2. He's taking that corner flat out and now goes down to the 3rd gear, misses the apex by a little bit, but that won't hurt him at all. There's a car up ahead which is Bios, was almost on the racing line, but I think Sickle was able to manage that pretty well. And now he has 2 more corners to go before he sees the start finish line, and he should see a massive improvement in his lap time, taking a lot of curb and then hugging the inside line before he plants the power, and on to the start finish straight he goes. Might have used up his battery, yeah, there you go, but he goes P1 to 26.8. That's a huge improvement. And meanwhile King has invalidated his lap time, so he will have to go again. I'm sure he has the fuel to do that. And what is Adam Baker doing meanwhile? Adam Baker himself is on a lap, but doesn't seem to be the best of the laps so far, as Ero F4 is on a lap as well, and he had put the fastest second sector of anyone in the session. He has an Alpine in front of him, that's Bianchi, who seems to be starting his hot lap right now. And now F4 will come across the line. Let's see what the Mercedes driver is able to do as he crosses the line. He has used his battery as well, so this is something which I have noticed on this track. If you keep the hot lap toggle on, you can't use it for the entirety of the lap, so somehow you'll have to save the battery somewhere in the lap, maybe in the slower sections of the track, to ensure that you are within the limits. As far as that is concerned, it was a 27 point something as far as King's lap time is concerned. Let's ride on board with him for the rest of this lap and see how he's progressing, because he seems to be one of the fastest drivers on this track in these conditions. And then we will have a look about how he does as he now exits turn 4, and then a downhill braking. Is up by almost 8 tenths going into the hairpin. That's a massive gain, and that is what happens when you're on the right tire in the right conditions. Adam Baker, by the way, goes P2 the 26.9, and now it's King's time to shine as he goes really deep into that turn 8. Has to ensure that he doesn't lose the car at the exit of that corner. There's a car which is F4 going wide to ensure he doesn't come in the way of the Ferrari, and King does take the apex nicely. Short shifts to 4th on the exit, and is up by 2.5 seconds, almost 2.2 seconds is his lap time. And Slivicam goes P1 to 26.6, but I think this lap by King will probably put him right up there, maybe even provisional pole as it stands. So King now, he has just one more corner to go. Murphy with 25.8. The lap times are absolutely going down every minute, and King goes P1 with 25.3. He still has time for one more lap. Let's try to find someone who's about to complete a lap right now. I think Smarty is going to do that, but then I think Adam Baker and I think Sickle will complete his lap first. He just about invalidates there. Was it even an invalidation? I'm not sure, but Sickle has lost that lap time, and that is his qualifying over. What does Smarty do meanwhile? Smarty stays well within the track limits, and it started raining again, by the way, so I think it's raining harder than it was. But Smarty now across the line goes P4 after having been overtaken by Yano in P3, but these two are going to go for one more lap. And you know what, Yano is a very very fast driver, and is right now he's stuck behind, who was that? Adam Baker losing it. Yano is kind of stuck behind Smarty right now. Oh, Yano almost loses it, and that is Yano's qualifying done. Loses at the exit of that corner. What has F4 gone to offer? F4, I think that's his qualifying done. Miyake across the line, just P9. That is a disappointment. And Bios is on a lap, and he is going to go a second faster from that hairpin. Spider has this, he has not improved. King has not improved either, I think. So I think this is what we get, except for Bios, who might improve on his lap time. But King now through the final corner is coming back into the pits. But let's stay on board with Bios, because he is, oh, I don't think that was the best line through that corner, turn 11 I think, but is up by 2 and a bit seconds. So this would be definitely an improvement by Bios. Would it be enough to lift him to P10? I am not sure right now. As it stands, he is not gaining enough in the first two sectors, but now across the line he goes with after a few seconds. And let's see what the Williams ends up. Is he going to go for it? He is going for it, Across the line he goes is a 29 or 28.7, but it still puts him P11. So that's not an improvement in position, but it's definitely an improvement in lap time, and that should give him confidence for the race. Qualifying is over, by the way. I don't think is Miyake still on a lap. He is, so Miyake can still improve. Maybe he does, goes P8. That's a good lap from Miyake. And Murphy across the line, I think he stays in P2. So that's the qualifying as far as the Portimao Grand Prix is concerned in the Algarve region of Portugal. And King has taken pole with a commanding 4 tenths gap to Murphy, who is joining him on the front row. Yano in P3, Oloman in P4, Smarty and Smillicam, the Haas boys on the third row of the grid. Sickle and Miyake, the mainstays of Yaro, in P7 and P8, with Adam Baker P9, Blackful rounding up the top 10, and Bios in P11. Spider did not put a lap time in. He will start P12. And very unfortunate disqualifications for Racing Gupta and Koguchis, two very fast drivers. They will start at the bottom of the field. So that's the qualifying done. Let's hope for an eventful race, and I will be interested to see what kind of conditions we have for the race, because if it's similar conditions, the commentators, or the drivers rather, would have hoped for a setup which is handling the car well in the race. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be back. It seems overcast right now, but as it stands, it's going to be it's definitely going to be a dry start in my opinion. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Apologies for that interruption. We are back, and as you can see, there are multiple different tires being run at the start of this race. You can see some soft runners, just 3 of them, which is people on the front row, as well as Miyake, who's in P8. Lot of medium runners, and Black Wolf is the only person on the hards. Now I've been told, or I know for a fact, that hards are not the best tires in these conditions. Especially on this track, you can get away with running the 2 softer compounds. So not entirely sure what the strategy is as far as Black Wolf is concerned. It seems it looked a little bit, it definitely looked overcast at the start of the race or the start of the formation lap, but now it has brightened up. So maybe we will see a completely dry race. We never know what the rain gods have for us. Can see the shadows and all, so maybe it's going to be a dry race. And let's focus on the leaders then. It is a long run, not a very long run, but it's a very long straight. You can see the cars will be lining up pretty soon, and let's see what's going to happen. It is King and Murphy on pole, with Yano, Oloman and Smarty behind. and Simracing in the mix as well. But theoretically, the soft runners should have a better start. But here we go. You can see the lights coming onto the screen now, and 5 lights on the grid. Lights out, and away we go. It's a good start from Murphy in P2. I think he's going to challenge. Maybe he's going to challenge. No, he does not. But behind us a particular. Oh, that's a Red Bull, I think, or Follow Man who's losing a lot of cars. There's more damage there for people. And Miyake is making places. Black Wolf has got penalties. There are multiple cars who have gone off the track there. And it has been a chaos of a start. Up ahead, the top 2 have gone pretty much fine. Simracing has gone into P3 from P6. What a start from Simracing, the Haas driver, with Jano behind him. But after him, there's a huge gap of Kogucic, who has started from the back of the grid from P14. He has climbed up to P5. Racing Gupta making up places as well. And the fight for the podium is on right now after the top 2 have slightly spread away, especially King, the Ferrari driver. But Racing Gupta making a move on Sickle, and I think no, it was a move on Adam Baker. So Racing Gupta and Adam have exchanged places. Sickle has gotten past his teammate as well, but up front it looks smooth sailing for the Ferrari driver. What a gap he has. King across the line, he comes 1.5 seconds is the gap, and Jano is getting very close to Simracing. He ducks out of the slipstream to ensure his cornering is good as far as this particular corner is concerned, which is corner 1. Behind, Oloman and Spider are fighting. Oloman down the inside. He started P4, he's going really wide there. That would have given him some kind of a warning there. He still completes the move. He is in P10 now, but that for sure would have given him some warning. Spider is not letting this go. Miyake already has a 3-second time penalty. Does Spider down the inside? No, it's Miyake instead. And Miyake, what a move! What a move from Miyake. He has put his car in P11 now, and using those soft tires. Well, he started P8, so we can't really say that it has helped him that much. But what a start, and what a move that was from the Alpine. That puts him into P11 right now, but his race has been compromised a little bit as far as time penalty is concerned. That is Spider going wide there through that corner. That would have been a warning as well. But now let's focus on Adam Baker, who is on the back of his teammate, which is Sickle. Adam Baker should have DRS. No, I think the DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap. Simracing has 3 seconds time penalty, so that is not good at all. The Alfa Romeos running P7 and P8. It's not really the best of the positions right now for a 14 lap grid, but Adam Baker almost pushing Sickle there, and this is going to be interesting. Now he will have DRS on this back straight onto the hairpin. Does he go for a move? He stays behind. Smarty is waiting for any opportunity he can get, and as things stands, Adam Baker has to be content with P8 right now. But they're on the same strategy, the teammates in Alfa Romeo, so they will have to settle this out on the track. But he spins. Adam Baker, this is turn 8, and that is the first victim of the race. Adam Baker spinning it at the exit of turn 8, which is very slippery no matter what traction control you use, and that has made him lose quite a few positions, but he will be hoping to claw them back pretty soon. You can see he's just 2 tenths behind Spider, who has been struggling at the start of the race as well. So don't count Adam out just yet. Remember, this is the guy who put 28 laps on mediums in Monaco, if I'm not wrong. What a stint that was. Probably one of the most beautiful stints I've seen in my Ero career. And now Adam Baker on the back of Spider. I don't think there's any move coming up, but now Jano is getting interested. He's approaching the hairpin now, and this is the battle for P3. As we know, Simracing has a... Oh, Simracing goes really wide there at the exit, but didn't really lose a lot of time. But again, he would have had more warnings to his name. Someone else who's battling around at the same time are the duo of Kogucic and Racing Gupta, both of whom had shown promising pace in qualifying but were disqualified from this session. Started from the back, they have made their way to the midfield, and now they're battling for P5, some 3.8 seconds behind this pack. So Slimicam right now is, while he's trying to stay with Murphy so as to get his DRS, but at the same time he's trying to defend from... Oh, Bios has left the session, and I think Black Wolf did as well, so there have been a couple of disconnections, and that's not good news at all. But the gap up front is almost 2 seconds, so King is now going to manage his gap. As we discussed, softs to mediums is possible on this track, so he would be hoping, King, to take his softs a little bit longer than usual and then pit on the medium tires to end the race. Further behind, Adam Baker on the back of Spider once again, and Spider is now under real threat. Let's see what Adam does as he exits this corner. He uses DRS. Spider doesn't have DRS, but I think Adam is just further behind. He almost runs into the back of Spider there. I think there was definite contact, but it's fine now. There's a... Was it Mia? There's a car which is... Oh, Racing Gupta! Turn 8 again. Racing Gupta has lost more positions. He was behind Kogucic, and now he has lost positions like anything. Spider finally gets overtaken by Adam Baker, so that is good racing from the two of them. But let's move our attention to this battle. I think Smarty and Sickle. Smarty has caught up to Sickle now, 5 tenths behind, and this is going to be interesting. Smarty will have DRS on the main straight. Does he have enough overspeed to make his move? He does. It's absolutely no defense from Sickle, and Smarty will make his move, and he keeps it within the track limits to take P6. The Spider gets another penalty, so that is not good news for him at all. The gap up front is again more than just about 2 seconds, and it's a battle for P2 right now between Slimicam, Yano and Murphy, and it's kind of helping King to run away with this one. So unless these three work together, King will be comfortable where he is. He will have to just manage his tire as well as fuel, and he should have the race win at the end of the 33rd lap. They get a beautiful helicopter angle of this battle. Yano is closer to Slimicam than Slimicam is to Murphy, but not sure if Slimicam is going to get DRS. We'll have to wait and watch as we're on the main straight now. Yano is using all his battery, has made up his mind to go for a move this time. Slimicam aggressively moves to the right. He's trying to come back to the racing line, and that was probably just about fair. I'm not sure how Yano would like that, Slimicam coming back to the racing line like that, and Yano is now still on his back. Slimicam has lost DRS, but Murphy up ahead has closed the gap to King. So the race might still not be over. Let's not write it off just yet. Another battle which is brewing right now is Racing Gupta, Sickle and Smarty. So Racing Gupta, after having spun on a couple of laps back, is now finding his pace and has caught up to this pack, and he's going to drive that corner now. Racing Gupta gets a much better exit, and let's see if he can round the outside of... Oh, Spider has retired from the session. Racing Gupta and Sickle are going side by side. Racing Gupta has to bow out of that one, and there's a sector 2 yellow flag. That's for Spider, who has spun and DNF'd. There is no safety car just yet, but if there is one, what would they do? I think as it stands, there's no safety car, and Racing Gupta is in a really good position to take P7 from Sickle, who might have DRS. Yano gets a penalty, by the way, 3-second time penalty for Yano, so that will not help his race at all along with Slimicam, but Racing Gupta is going for a move and he has completed the move on Sickle. So that's him into P7. His next target is Marty, who is just half a tenth ahead of him. So this might still not be over as far as the Alpine is concerned. Racing Gupta, does he go for a move? He does not. He has to stay behind. He almost runs into the back of Smarty. So Smarty seems to be struggling here. Even on those medium tires, they should not be giving away pretty soon, but it seems like he is struggling. And let's have a look. But he is on an absolute charge of the Alpine driver. It's almost like he's more determined to get something out of the race, maybe even a podium, especially after having spun out. But now on the main straight would be his best opportunity. That's where he made the overtake on Smarty, or rather on Sickle. But this time around he will have to then wait for a few more laps and a lot of laps before he can catch up. What's happening up front? It is, oh, it's a spin from Slimicam, and that has not helped his race at all. Slimicam has lost a position to Yano, and Racing Gupta has finally made the move stick on Smarty. So that's him into P6, and Miyagi and Adam Baker were battling meanwhile, with Adam Baker coming out on top. That's him into P8. Well, the next battle we have, it is absolutely non-stop here, is Kogucic on Slimicam here. So Slimicam, after losing that position to Yano, has lost a lot of time. Not sure what happened there. We caught just the end of that incident, so not entirely sure what happened there. But further behind, it's Sickle who is now getting caught by Oloman. So he has to be careful here. Oloman goes down the inside. What a try here. That didn't really pull it off, but the absolute nerve to try a move into that turn 11. Well, you can take different lines through there, but it's hardly an overtaking spot. And Oloman is all over the back of the gearbox of Sickle, who seems to be struggling after having been overtaken by Racing Gupta as well as Smarty. But now, through the main straight, Sickle is not going to fight it, it seems, and it's an easy move for the Red Bull driver of Oloman, who started P4, did not have the best of the starts, but now he's making his way back and he's into P8 now. And let's see if he can make further inroads on the people up front. Can he take Smarty on this lap? I don't think he can. I think he's further behind, but you never know, as Oloman sticks behind for at least a few more corners. But the next after this car is actually Racing Gupta, who has not really made the gap which he needs on Kogucic. So Racing Gupta is not really gaining time on him. So it will be interesting to see if Oloman can catch up to the Alpine driver, and those two should provide us with a really good battle. But now, through the final couple of corners before they see the start finish straight, this is going to be interesting again. Oloman looks to be clearly the faster driver of the two, despite being on the same strategy, and this should be an easy overtake, as Miyagi has overtaken Adam Baker for P10. Adam Baker seems to have spun, but now Oloman on the start finish straight is going to for that move, and he will make that move on Smarty, as he does, using DRS to good effect, and that is him into P7. And with 1/3 of the race gone, what a race it has been so far on a brand new track where the drivers are racing here in a league scenario probably for the first time, and it has provided us with a lot of action. It's a shame that we don't have a full grid, but 14 drivers are keeping it very, very entertaining. Up front the gap is 2.8 seconds, so King finally flexing his muscles and taking advantage of clean air. He'll be thinking of pit stops maybe in a couple of laps time. That's what I've heard. I think lap 13, lap 14 is when you can pit and easily take the mediums to the end. So let's see if anyone tries to pull undercuts, because this is a type of a track where undercuts could be useful depending on the tire you go on and the outlap you have. So let's see what the leaders do. I think both of them are staying out for at least one more lap. So is Yano and Slimicam. Well, those are on the mediums anyway. So Miyake has a 3-second time penalty, but on the medium runners they would be hoping to go long into the race and then pit for a set of soft tires which would take them to the end and make them also very, very fast into the race. So the gaps have finally emerged as far as the drivers are concerned. I think the only battle we have on our hands right now is between P8 and P9 as Sickle tries to hunt down Smarty, who has been overtaken by Oloman just on the previous lap. So let's see what Sickle does, because he needs to get past Smarty here. He is on the same strategy, so that really won't be something which could come into play. And Oloman has, after having overtaken Sickle, has completed. King pits, by the way. King is the first man into the pits. Let's see what tires he goes on. He goes on for a set of hards, so this is interesting. King is going on for a set of hards and he'll come out just behind Racing Gupta, I think, or will he be overtaken by this pack as well? You can see the Ferrari exiting the pits just there. Racing Gupta gets a penalty and King is just about filtered ahead of this pack, and Sickle tries to take Smarty's position, but it's not working out for him. But it's a hard tires for the Ferrari driver, and now we'll see how Murphy responds. Miyake is in the pits for hard tires as well. It's a half-hearted move by Sickle down the inside of Smarty. Has not worked out at all, and will have to stay behind for one more lap. But now let's see, Murphy would be pushing at his very, very best. This is probably the in lap which he needs, and the in lap which his team would need to challenge King for the win. Let's see what Murphy does. Is he going into the pits? He's not. He's staying out for one more lap at least. And you know what? That tells me that he might be going on a set of medium tires when he actually decides to pit. In terms of lap times, Racing Gupta has, I think he's the only driver who has not really improved his lap time. 1.4 seconds off his fastest lap, so that's not great. And what happened to Sickle, by the way? Oh, I completely missed that. Did he have a wing change? Is he going to have a wing change now? Because he was on the back of Smarty. He's in the pits now, probably for a set of hards, because he can't go to the soft from here. So that would be interesting to see. Yeah, I think there's going to be a wing change for him, and I wonder where he has been to go for that wing change. But it's hard tires for the Alfa Romeo, and two people on hards is Miyake and Sickle. Oh, someone has spun. I think that's King has spun. King has lost multiple places. I think that's just one place to Smarty, because he was behind Oloman. But King has spun, and that has not helped him at all, and that gives all the more additional motivation for Murphy. He was still going on. So 15 laps on these tires. I wonder when he decides to pit. Yano has gone on as well. Slimicam pulls the trigger on this one. Miyake has got a 10-second penalty. How does someone get a 10-second penalty? I'm not sure, for corner cutting, but he has done that. And oh, he's spinning almost. Slimicam comes out on the hards. So I did not expect that after having gone for 14 laps on softs. You would think that he would come out on the mediums, but he has come out on the hards, and he's 2.5 seconds behind the race leader King. Well, King himself lost time, so I think that puts Yano and Murphy in a really good position, And now Murphy once again in the third sector. I think he should pit now. I think he has done enough work on these soft tires, but if he still goes on, props to him, but I think he'll be losing time to the cars behind. You can see Yano has been catching up, and this would be the best time to pit. I don't think he should pit or wait any longer. Murphy is now in the pits, just right on cue. He ensures his car waits and slows down enough before the pit entry line. Let's see what tires he goes on. It's medium tires. There you go. That's a strategy which should help him to battle for the race win. Let's see where he comes out, because this is going to be interesting. I think he'll be coming out behind Hollow Man, but he'll be definitely coming ahead of Smart in the pits again. Smart in the pits, that's the first time rather. But Hollow Man and Racing Gupta, what has happened there? I think there's been an incident there, and Murphy has taken P4 from him. Racing Gupta, not the best of the races for him. I'm not sure what happened there, but now he's going to be under attack from the Ferrari of King, who's going down the inside. Racing Gupta, oh, there's more contact there. He left just enough space, Racing Gupta, for King to be interested in a move, and the once a race leader has now through, but he is just a second behind Murphy on the hard tires. You know what, if he didn't have that spin, King, he would have been much ahead, but now he has to hunt down the McLaren driver on a different set of tires, a faster set of tires. So this is going to be a really interesting race as Miyake adds to his time penalties, as King gets a 3-second time penalty as well. So this is not working out at all for the Ferrari driver, and all the more reason for Murphy to push on and try to take this race win. Hollow Man is in the pits. He's on a set of hards as well. I don't understand why he pitted on this lap, but there you go, he's on the hards. Racing Gupta carries on for one more lap at least. I think these medium runners will be going to lap at least 19 or 20, something like that, before they finally decide to come in for the set of soft tires. As we'll have to wait and watch what the likes of Yano and Koguchich are doing. But you know what, you see here, you see the gap from leader. I don't know what the pit lane lost time is as far as the Portimao track is concerned, but Murphy is 21 seconds behind Yano right now. So if Yano can try to somehow have the pace to put consistent lap times in, he has a shot of a race win. I know he has a 3-second time penalty, but those softs will be very fast at the end of the race. So he has a real shot at this, and he would be hoping to take full advantage of those softs in the second stint. But right now he has to ensure that he uses this clean air to his advantage and puts in consistent lap times before finally coming in for a pit stop. Koguchich the same thing. Well, Koguchich is 6 seconds behind Yano, so I don't think Koguchich can, or he is in the hunt for the race win right now, but you never know, he is a very fast driver. So anything can happen. A safety car can change things in a matter of seconds, but as things stands, Koguchich is looking for a solid result right now with no penalties to his name as well. Murphy has pitted. He will be going to the end on this set of tires. He has built a good gap to King as well, so I don't think he's under any threat from him, and King has a time penalty anyway. So Murphy, if he just does his own thing and concentrates on his own race, is looking for a good strong podium finish, race win as well at this rate. But it depends on what Yano and Koguchich can do on those soft tires. Hollow Man and racing Adam Baker, he's without a win right now. What happened there? That is something of a sight to see. He has no front wing at all. The Alfa Romeo is being caught by Smarty here, but on the main straight goes Slimicam and Racing Gupta. They are battling right now. Smarty has overtaken. Oh, Miyake is retired from the session. How has he retired there? We'll have a look at where Murphy is. There's no safety car right now. I don't see Miyake's car. And Slimicam and Racing Gupta are still battling. Racing Gupta is yet to pit. Slimicam has pit on those hards. And Racing Gupta is trying to go down the inside, and he has. Let's hope these two don't touch. I think they did. It's a safety car. It is a safety car. Adam Baker on the softs. And I think this is the perfect time for Yano and Kogucic to pit for the softs. Go to the end of the race. And that has worked out perfectly for them. Kogucic will pit as well. Yep, there he goes into the pits. And that's him into P2 right now. He might even take P2 on the when he exits the pits as well. It will be interesting to see what happens. Oh, Murphy's in the pits, so he does not want to finish the race on those mediums. King in the pits as well, so people are pitting in and they want that soft tires at the end. The front two have already exited. Kogucic is now just exiting the pits. King is now going for a set of soft. So is Murphy. Slow is Slimicam. Slow is Slimicam on mediums. Okay, Slimicam on the mediums. Racing Gupta has jumped Slimicam. Oh no, they were behind anyway. Racing Gupta was ahead of Slimicam anyway, but Hollow Man has stayed out and he's on the hard tires, so look out for the cars behind him trying to battle with him. Smarty has stayed out as well on P8. I'm not sure if that's the best decision. Sickle is now coming in and he will be on a set of hopefully soft tires. He'll lose one position to Adam Baker, but I still think it's the best thing to do for Sickle to pit on those soft tires and be competitive in the final third of the race. So as it stands, Yano leads and the safety car really helped him. Well, he might have taken the lead anyway because of the advantage which they had, but I think it's a very smart move by Murphy. He might have just overtaken Kogucic had he not pitted, but on those soft tires he has a really good chance for the race win now because Yano has a penalty. So Kogucic and Murphy looking really good as far as the prospects of this race is concerned. The pack has bunched up except for the last two cars, which is Adam Baker and Sickle. Bios is somewhere there. He is lapped. He's somewhere there, you can see. And the drivers, you can see, are now trying their best to keep temperature in the tires. So when the safety car does come in at the end of maybe lap 22, we don't know. The cars behind have a lot of time to catch up. 24 seconds behind the next car is Adam Baker, and then Sickle a further 10 seconds down the road. So they will have to ensure that they catch up to the pack. There has been instances in the past where the safety car does not wait for the pack to bunch up, and there's a message which pops up on the screen that it will be coming in at the end of the lap. So let's hope that doesn't happen, and we can see all the 11 drivers race each other. This should be an interesting end to the race, and the beautiful track of Portimao has not disappointed at all in terms of on-track action. Well, the safety car is in this lap. The pack has definitely bunched up. So good job by Sickle and Adam Baker both. And now it is Jano's duty to let the safety car through and give it enough time for the racing to resume. Both Jano and Kovacic are very close to each other, and they are hoping to get started very soon. It's Jano's duty when he will go. Kovacic is trying his best right now to stay along with Jano. Jano has finally left as the safety car comes in. Kovacic is behind. King is trying a move. Is he close enough to go for a move? No, I don't think he is. Jano will lead them into turn 1, and it's a huge gap after racing Gupta, so the others have been slightly caught napping there, but it is a good restart by Jano, has held the position well, but further behind it's racing Gupta, who might go for a move on Yellow Man. He does. He has overshot the corner, I think. No, he has not. And what a move that is. It's a dive bomb by racing Gupta. Murphy losing positions. Oh, what happened there? Murphy losing positions has not been the best of the restarts for him, at least in the second sector, and now he's lost position. But what a move by racing Gupta to go into P5 there on Hollow Man. Further behind, Smarty and Adam Baker are battling, and Adam Baker will come back at Smarty, who will have a different kind of a line through turn 11, and Smarty is through. Sickle is through as well. His teammate will not fight it that much. Hollow Man has, by the way, overtaken, or rather he has been overtaken by Slimicam, and Hollow Man has spun. Oh, that's a very unfortunate restart for Hollow Man. Can see he has spun, and up front the gap is 9/10. So it's a good restart by Jano, but now he has to take advantage of the clean air and ensure that he is able to pull out a gap of 3 seconds because of his time penalty that will be added to the end of the race. But this pack has been battling all race long, Sickle and Adam Baker, and I think Sickle is under attack from his teammate, but he might go for a move down the inside. No, he does not. He stays behind for now. And King on the move now. King on Kovacic. This should be interesting. Kovacic does not have any time penalties, so does he fight this one or does he let it go is my question. We'll know the answer soon enough because DRS will be activated at the end of this lap, and Jano is showing an impressive pace to get away from the pack which is fighting behind him. But King, because of his time penalties, has that extra motivation to pick up places as soon as he can and then make good use of his fresh soft tires and go for the win here. As Slimicam gets a 3-second time penalty for the win, but it's Sickle who's going to make that move. He does, and he has gone into P7 right now. Does Smarty lose position to Adam Baker as well? I think the two of them are fighting. Adam Baker has made his way past, so that's him into P8 now, and King now on the back of Kovacic. It's going down the inside. That was a bit of a late move, but King has gone down the inside and he has found his way through. He's into P2 now, and Jano is P1, but he is moving away. Hollow Man and Sickle are still battling. We have to stay with this battle as King has finally made his way through. Murphy, by the way, in all that has got a penalty. So he was the only penalty-free driver along with Jano in the top 5, but now he has got a penalty as well. So Kovacic is still looking good if he can hang around with the leaders. And this is not good news for Murphy. He was looking so good. Right now as it stands, he might not finish on the podium, but he was looking good even for a race win until the safety car came out. So not the best of couple of laps as far as the McLaren driver is concerned. You can see from the onboard of King how Jano was towards the edge of the track. Who is that? Is that Sickle? It is Sickle who has lost a bit of, well, there's no damage apparent on the wing or on the body of the car, but he definitely lost a lot of time there. Well, let's go back to the front now. King has absolute pace. He has the gap was 1.4 seconds when King got P2, but now it's 0.5 seconds. So King has nearly got a second a lap pace on Yano, and he is looking mega quick here, the Ferrari driver. And you know what, if he can make the move stick on this lap or at the end of this lap on the start finish straight, he has a real chance, because he has showed the pace to maybe even win the race despite his time penalties, because everyone except Kogujic have time penalties right now. So it won't be that difficult to keep that P1 if he crosses the line in first. Now King, he doesn't have a lot of battery, so he will have DRS, but look at Yano completely hugging the pit wall, and that is because he does not want to give any DRS or any slipstream advantage to the Ferrari behind. So as it stands, Kogucic is still the net race leader, but he is being challenged by the likes of Murphy and Racing Gupta as well. So keep an eye out on that. King has disconnected and Kogucic is going for a move. So has... oh, he has disconnected. That is really unfortunate for King. And Racing Gupta has made his way past as well. But King has lost multiple positions there. Or has he? Okay, he has not. That is weird. What happened there? For a minute it showed that King had disconnected from the session. There was an X to his name. But he is still driving around in P2. And maybe on this lap he would be hoping to make a move on Yano, who's behind. But Murphy is now attacking Kogucic as well. So if the Alfa Romeo, or sorry, the Alfa Tauri driver is not alert, here goes King now. He is completely committed. He's using his battery as well as DRS. Yano is out of battery, or at least within 10%. It's not going to happen, but what's going to happen for Murphy? He does overtake Kogucic and he goes wide there, so that might have been a warning. Kogucic tries to go around, hang the outside. Oh, both of them touch! And oh, that's really unfortunate for Murphy. There was definite contact there and he has lost multiple positions and time. There may be even damage on the car, and that brings Kogucic 2.5 seconds behind the lead pack, which are still neck and neck as far as the pace is concerned. Yano has to do this for a further more laps. Kogucic has lost it. Oh, Kogucic has lost it. What is happening here? It's Racing Gupta in P3 all of a sudden from the back of the field, and King now, let's go on board with him. Kogucic has retired from this session. That's a DNF for him. Is it going to be another safety car? Because it's right in the middle of the track with so many cars. As it stands, it's not a safety car. And is King going for it this time? He's much closer. He's using his battery once again, and he's going to use DRS. Yano goes to the left and then goes to the right, trying to play slipstream as much as he can. And it's not happening for King on the main straight. Should he try somewhere else? Maybe is the question. And well, 5 laps to go after this one. Do not go away. This is a beautiful race, and King and Kogucic, rather King and Yano, are doing everything they can to get the lead of the race. Some questionable defending from Yano, I must say, but I think it's just about fair, and he's doing everything he can to keep the Ferrari driver behind. He succeeded so far, and maybe King is running a little bit higher downforce than he would want while trying to overtake someone. Maybe he did not expect to be in this scenario. Maybe he expected to lead the race anyway, which is why he doesn't need to overtake people, but right now he is struggling. And for the third time running, let's see if he can make this count, as Racing Gupta and Slimicam are also filtering through that corner. We'll have a look once again if King can make his way through. His 4 tenths behind, and that has been the gap on all the laps. But King just does not have enough battery in his Ferrari to make this way. So maybe he should wait for a couple of laps, recharge his battery and then go for it. but on this particular occasion he is just far behind to make any move. 4 laps to go, race is out. Oh, Racing Gupta, what happened to him? He has lost his car a little bit and has lost 3 positions because of it. Also got a time penalty, so it's not the best of the races for him. He started from the back, was looking very promising at the earlier stages of the race, then had a couple of incidents and now involved in a further excursion of the track. He won't be finishing on the podium, I think. It's been a disappointing night for the Alpine driver, but the battle for the lead, you can see King 2 tenths, 3 tenths. This is a gap on all the laps. And what's happening to Sickle? Yes, lost it at the exit of turn 5. Should be fine. Back to this battle. The gap 4 tenths once again. I think Yano can do this all night long if he wants to. He can just keep tagging King along, but look at him. His red X is flashing, but King is never close enough. Even though he might be running a higher downforce, I'm not sure what his setup is like, but he just doesn't have the overspeed he needs to make this move stick. And the laps are running out as far as this race is concerned. 3 laps after this, but this time King is close enough. Yano is again breaking the slipstream, and you can see that King does not have a lot of battery left either, about 20%, 25% for King. For Kokochich it's hardly 10%, so he is using a lot of battery, and that's natural because he is the defending car. And well, the only person who doesn't have a penalty right now are 2 people, which is Smarty and Bios, both of whom are going to finish in points. Smarty might get more than P8 depending on time penalties, so that's a good race from Smarty. He pitted onto the hard tires, not a tires which a lot of people have used, but it seems like it will pay dividends because he is very disciplined when it comes to track limits, at least in this race. Once again, round 5 I think this is, and once again King losing out on the final corner, just not close enough. And Yano seems to be having this under control right now. Is to do this for 2 more times, Yano, because I don't think King has enough purchase of his tires right now or enough pace advantage to make a move on the hairpin unless Yano makes a mistake. So Yano, I think, has this in the bag right now. Unless there is some problem with his driving, or makes a mistake or something, Yano looks good for this as King goes absolutely near him. Oh, Yano almost loses it, and King gets a good exit out of that corner, turn 5, or rather turn 8. Is he going to go down the inside? No, he does not. He tries an alternate line to Yano, and King is absolutely determined to make his way past. He is hell-bent on getting that lead. It's very close racing. The final couple of laps, and King is on a charge, but once again Yano has the brilliant ability to keep his car in front and keep a cool head. Once again he will be out of DRS on the straight, and once again King will not have enough overspeed to make the move. 2 laps to go. Yano has absolutely brilliantly defended from the Ferrari for these many laps, and for 1.5 laps he needs to do it once again taking the inside line, then coming back onto the racing line. And I think Sickle has had an incident once again. Yes, he has. Can barely see his car from between the trees, but I think that's a reset on track as well to go with it. But let's have a final look at the penalty situation. It's 3 seconds for both of them, so it is going to be decided on track unless they get any more time penalties. And with 1 1/3 lap to go, the battle for the lead is going to be decided on the last lap. King tries to go down the inside, and there's a lap car in between now. I think that's Bios, if I'm not wrong. It is Bios. So this is going to be really close. It's really distracting for the race leaders, and King is very close. He is close now on the last lap. Look at his battery. That's exactly what I was talking about. He has recharged his battery. Yano has none left. It is brilliant, smart racing from King, and Yano can push him all he wants to the right of the track, but he has taken the lead as King, and that is great race management from the Ferrari driver. Waited for a couple of laps, gave his battery some time to recharge, and taking the lead on the last lap. Yano still has a chance, by the way, but he is just not close enough. He can be as desperate as he wants. I think Sickle is having further trouble in lap 1, but these two have provided what a stellar show in this Portuguese Grand Prix. King is leading. It's still not over. Half lap to go. Anything can happen, but the Ferrari has shown brilliant pace tonight, and I think he will be taking the checkered flag as the race leader and the race winner. What a race it has been. Yano tried his best, and I think he almost pulled it off, but well, it remains to be seen if what he has to say about that lap car. It definitely might have been distracting, but King, the pole sitter, is going to win the race, and what a race this has been. He is going to finish, and he's going to take the checkered flag in P1. Yano in P2. King also gets the fastest lap of the race. Simracing is going to finish P3, but Murphy will get that P3 because of time penalties. So that is Murphy into P3. Simracing will remain P4. Adam Baker in P5. Racing Gupta will just about finish in P6. So Smarty will not really get any advantage of time penalties ahead of him. Hollow Man in P8, and I think P9 would be Sickle, with Bios in P10 with a lap down. So those are the final race results. Racing Gupta is the driver of the day according to the game, who started from P13 if I'm not wrong, and finished P6. It could have been a better result for him as well, I think. As you can see, the Ferrari, the Mercedes and the McLaren celebrating on the podium. But what a race that has been, guys. If you're still watching, leave a like if you like this coverage, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. But there's your race winner, King, with Yano and Murphy running on the podium. Murphy in P3, Simracing in P4, Adam Baker in P5. It's a good recovery from Racing Gupta in P6. Marty in P7. Hollow Man, bad start from him, and his race was compromised after that in P8. Sickle in P9. Bios in P10, a lap down. And the people who did not finish the race were Kokuchich, Miyake, Spider and Black Wolf. Well, that's been the race, and I will leave you with the screen, and I'll see you next week, next Friday, same time, for another round of the F4 division of season 6 of ERO. Until then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. Have a good weekend ahead. Good night.